from Andrew's line. Andrew, it kind of brings me to picking up on what you were just saying about you, for example, you meditate, you take time out for yourself. Right. We talk about stress levels here in the United States. How does that differ from, let's say, East versus West? If we go to Asia right now, do people there experience the same levels of stress as we do?
Well, I think if you ever visit Japan or Tokyo, or just you could go online and watch films of like commuter hours in Tokyo, that will cause stress. But I think what has been delivered from many Eastern cultures, whether we're looking at India or Japan or China, they tend to have cultures that prize meditation, that prize quiet time. It's something what I do. I try to commune with nature. It's something that Lincoln, fortunately, my dog, forces me because I want to be a good owner to my dog. I make sure that I go outdoors and get my exercise with him every day, weather permitting, sometimes twice a day. So it forces me to do things rather than continuing to look at my computer or look at my smartphone or being on the phone and dealing with business issues and things like that. I'm blessed to have this company. This company is something that is the perfect job for me, but at the same time, it's something that, as my parents would be the first people to say, that I spend too much time working here. I spend too much time devoted and committed to my work. So balance is something we all need sometimes to struggle to achieve. Certainly I do, and it's something I work on, and that's why I actually carve out time. First thing in the morning, I meditate. Before I start my day, before I touch my computer, I go out in the yard, and Lincoln and I, we sit down and we meditate together. So it's, I'm not sure if he's meditating, but he certainly seems calm. So I think it's up to us. It's certainly not part of our Western way of living, and some of the most wonderful books I've read about finding a more peaceful path in life have been written by Eastern teachers. So this is not Eastern religion versus Western religion. This is just a philosophy of finding peace, and that the way we find peace is by leading a peaceful life, by being a peaceful person. Because I think, what is it? The first rule of Buddhism, or what Buddha says, is life is suffering. That we have to realize that life delivers great happiness, but life also delivers suffering. And it's the degree to which we contend with that balance between those two that determines the quality and the happiness of our life.
And I think one of those areas where, you know, a lot of us are struggling is at night. When we've had a hard day at work, when we've been running around after the kids, we want to lay down and feel some peace, but a lot of us find it hard to switch off.
No, even for me, last night, I didn't sleep well last night because Lincoln, when he's here, he have a pool here in the house and has all these rocks around the pool, and he's 9 years old. He's leaping from rock to rock to rock like he's 6 months old still. And so yesterday, while he wasn't on TV, his back was hurting him a little bit. So of course, when he would change position in bed, he would whimper a little bit. So it's like, if my back was hurting me, I'd sleep. If my dog's back is hurting him, it really is disruptive to me. So it's just indicative of, I mean, all of the different things in our worlds, and different things weigh on us differently, but life is a constant onslaught of issues, and it seems like the moment we lay down to go to sleep, we're no longer distracted by dealing with the issues of our day, and that's when they just come rolling into our brain, and it's almost like watching a video of all the issues that are left outstanding, the things we haven't resolved, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it might be. So I think so many of us have forgotten the ability to turn off our brain the way a little child does. Turn off our brain and go to sleep. And we had to learn to do that as a child, because as infants, we struggle to go to sleep. So it's interesting that so much of the quality of our next day is directly related to being able to turn off from the day before and just go to sleep. This product, again, not a drug, not a medicine. Those should be used with the utmost of caution, simply because most of them, or I'm not aware of a single one of the medications for sleep that doesn't undermine the very chemistry of sleep. Certainly we need to sleep, and if your doctor recommends taking them, you have to do that. But whether it's undermining melatonin synthesis or the various chemistry of sleep that ensures we get a restful night and repair our body, including our brain and nervous system, we have to very carefully weigh the benefits from using those drugs and use them as judiciously as possible, and work with a doctor perhaps who has an alternative perspective that could help us do so and go to sleep in a more healthy fashion. But just as we were talking about valerian a moment ago, nighttime is designed to gently and naturally create a soothing environment for you to go to sleep. It's not going to knock you out and put you to sleep. It still is up to you to lay down in bed, close your eyes, relax, and do whatever it is. And there's all sorts of things you can do. And I often talk about something called sleep hygiene, which sleep hygiene means that we respect the environment of sleep. Our bedrooms should be dark. And our bedrooms should be cool. We sleep better when it's cool. So and even if we work graveyard and might be sleeping during the day, dark is important. All the different blinking LEDs and things like that in our room, we should tape them over or make them go away. That the quality of our sleep the best quality requires that light is not getting into our body through our eyelids, and those LEDs blinking and things like that will have an impact. It's been shown in research. So there's a lot of things we could do to create a hygienic, a clean sleep environment for it. And that really talks in terms of not clean in terms of cleanliness, but a clean, hygienic environment in terms of not having any of the stimuli or other things that might otherwise distract from or detract from the quality of our sleep. So, and again, nighttime, we use a number of ingredients, as you can see here. We don't use any of them at very high levels because the goal of nighttime isn't to depend on any one of them to knock you out, but to use these natural tools at very moderate levels to simply, gently create an environment, create the conditions where you can naturally go to sleep. And the reviews for a product that might be reviewed harshly, you would think, because it comes with expectations called nighttime. I think it's reviewed at something like 4.1, 4.2 stars, something like that. It's got about over 80% positive reviews.
And that gives you some encouragement and inspiration to say, I'm going to try this. With all of Andrew's products for his 30 days, please, we encourage you to give it a go. If you don't find that it works for you, return it and get a 100% refund of the purchase price. What's exciting about tonight is that you are also benefiting from all the special pricing for Andrew's visit as well.
And my goal, and this is why I love doing this show with Adam, my goal isn't really I love the products I make, and I couldn't make them any better than I do, and all I do is focus on the research to constantly improve them. Nighttime alone in probably 20 years has gone through more than a dozen reformulations where we continue to improve it. But my goal is to provide, because I live reading the research and the science, trying to find a healthy path for me through my life, my goal is to be able to share that. So when I have the privilege of being on HSN, it's not just about my products. And life is really about eating well and living well. Dietary supplementation takes a backseat to healthy diet, a backseat to healthy lifestyle. So as important as you might think that I think dietary supplements are because I make them and dedicate my life to making them, they take a backseat behind eating well, which is what I love to talk about, and living well, which so much about living well, we don't give ourselves credit for the power we have to really influence and to control how we feel and how we move through the world. We're incredibly powerful when it comes to our lives and it comes to our own feelings.
Well, we're going to head over to the other side of our studio to